If there's one character in Naruto who gets drugged up and down the fandom, it's Sakura by a long shot. She did reject a whole 7th Hokage to be an ore farmer's baby moms. What if I told you the hate she gets is massively undeserved? Looking past the Sakura bias, she has one of the most substantial character arcs in Naruto, whose relationship with Sasuke is more thematically resonant than it is wasteful writing by Kishimoto. Sakura is the most overhated female in Naruto, and I'll show you how. Now before you like and subscribe, help out, you feel me? Cue my music. For the howling, I'm thinking I love her. Sakura. Although Sakura and Sasuke's relationship is one of the most trivialized relationships in anime, Sakura and Sasuke's complex romantic arc is an underrated aspect of Naruto that people don't give Kishimoto enough credit for. Because on the surface, we read it as Kishimoto lazily putting two familiar characters together, but when we look at it thematically, it is the embodiment of the dark realities of the shinobi world. Going back to the first time we meet Team 7, Sakura is established as a Sasuke-obsessed fangirl, especially in spite of Naruto's feeling. Now we know during this time, and most times, Sasuke has always been on his nonchalant ore farmer loner shit, so Sakura very seldomly got on the radar of Sasuke, but actually Sakura was an early confidant for Sasuke in most moments of weakness. Because as Sasuke was met with adversity when attaining his goal, in part 1 wanting to eliminate Itachi, Sakura was there as a pillow to rest on or as a battery in his back. And in these key moments, the closeness between Sakura and Sasuke took place, especially during the Chunin exams. When Sasuke had obtained his curse mark from Orochimaru and went up against the Sound Ninjas, with the level of bloodlust Sasuke experienced, it was Sakura who was able to calm him down. Or before, when Sasuke was afraid to go up against Orochimaru and Sakura scolded him for lacking the courage Naruto has. From here, we see Sakura has always been the emotional backbone for Sasuke. But the most pivotal moment for Sakura and Sasuke's relationship was him leaving the Leaf Village. Sasuke, after realizing he must go and search for Orochimaru's mentorship in order to defeat Itachi, decides to leave the Leaf Village. Sakura, anticipating Sasuke leaving the Leaf Village, chose to confess her love to him for Sakura to be knocked out by Sasuke. And from that time to throughout Shippuden, Sakura has always battled two wars within her consistently, choosing to love Sasuke even though he became progressively worse and worse, or be a Konoha shinobi and destroy Sasuke in spite of her feelings. Which I think is important to highlight Naruto's role in all of this. Not just because Sakura was Naruto's fine shit, most importantly, Naruto made a promise to Sakura to bring back Sasuke. And yes, Naruto wanting to bring him back was mostly due to the brotherly bond they shared. Naruto, through his love for Sakura, chooses to fight to bring Sasuke back, which is what makes Sai's conversation with Sakura so profound. Because Sai bringing the truth to light that Sakura abuses Naruto's love for her shows deep down how selfish Sakura's desires are. Naruto still feels bound to the promise he made to Sakura. However, this promise is destroying Naruto emotionally, and Sakura knows that. And even though Sakura did try to combat her guilt by telling Naruto she loves him, it didn't hit the mark because Naruto knows she's lying, which makes the situation even worse. But this emotional abuse of the admirer is a parallel that we see in Sasuke used against Sakura during the 5 Kage Summit. Sasuke destroys Danzo, and after he does, Sasuke asks Sakura how much she loves him and prompts Sakura to kill Karin to prove her love, which is very messed up, but shows just like in part 1, Sasuke has always used Sakura's soft spot for him. But looking at Sasuke for a bit, Sasuke, like we established before, and like you probably already know, has always been on a vengeful path. First to destroy his brother for genociding the Uchiha clan, then to destroy the Leaf Village for forcing that decision onto Itachi, and lastly to embody hatred by eliminating all the Kage and tailed beasts. So when we look at the relationship between Sakura and him, those type of feelings cannot help but shit to the periphery, which is why when Naruto got through to him in their final battle, for Sasuke to be laying there with Naruto both battered up with one hand gone, and Sasuke apologizes to Sakura for Sakura to command him to say nothing, this wasn't an emotional moment, it was an emotional climax of all Sakura has been put through. For Sasuke dismissing her feelings in part 1 to then use her feelings in Shippuden, it was just too much for Sakura to handle. What's also important is to highlight their relationship in Boruto, since this is where Sakura and Sasuke are actually together. Yes, Sasuke is not there most of the time, making Sakura almost a single mother type, but that Sarada arc where Sarada is wondering whether Karin or Sakura is her true birth mother, for us in the fandom, it does answer that huge question, since Sarada does look like Karin, but it does give huge characterization to Sasuke and Sakura's relationship. One of Sarada's central traumas is her lineage. Being born past all the part 1 and Shippuden lore, she does not understand Sasuke's absence from her life, leading Sarada to question her own existence and if her parents even have feelings for one another. And if so, is her mother actually her birth mom? And when she asks Sasuke what connects his feelings to Sakura, he promptly tells Sarada it is her. Sarada is the embodiment of the love Sakura and Sasuke has poured into one another, making this romance between Sasuke and Sakura not a trivial romance plotline, but a strategically crafted romantic arc. The reason that Sakura and Sasuke's ship wasn't lazy writing is the relationship between these two didn't develop through two characters just getting married, but it was Sasuke resolving his personal traumas and Sakura still loving Sasuke through the turmoil. However, what also adds to Sakura's character isn't just the romantic arc with Sasuke, but how she developed to become a character who wasn't bound to that one trait.
What is it?
I would like to be your apprentice.
Sakura has one of the most satisfying individual character arcs in all of Naruto, because we get to see this Sasuke fangirl type of character shift into her own distinctive person who can contribute to the actual plot of the story. And the person who contributed most towards Sakura's growth has to be Tsunade. And what makes Tsunade a central figure in facilitating Sakura's growth wasn't just her mentorship, but the reason why Sakura asked to train with her to begin with. Sakura in early part 1 embodied the damsel in distress type role, being second behind the rest of Team 7 in major battle moments. However, when Sakura approached Tsunade to be trained by her, it shows Kishimoto knew he had to address her character, but more importantly, Sakura herself recognized what we as viewers already saw. She was lagging behind as a shinobi. With Sasuke gone from Team 7, Naruto training with Jiraiya, Sakura had to become on the level of her peers or else she'll fall behind. Also, just looking at Tsunade, despite her appearance, is well into her 50s. So just that older, mature woman energy around Sakura is great to have. And that time skip from part 1 to Shippuden really shows how much Sakura matured as a person. We see that from her changing role on Team 7. Yes, Sasuke is gone from Team 7, so the love triangle angle is not there anymore. However, with Sakura, Naruto, and Sai being the group that comprises Team 7 in Shippuden, Sakura's role on Team 7 shifts from being just the female of Team 7 to the domineering elder sister of the group. Especially since we see Kishimoto in the anime emphasize Sakura becoming impulsively angry at Naruto and Sai acting a fool. Like when Naruto scolds Konoha on a sexy jutsu, Sakura instantly hits Naruto for not changing throughout the years. Also Sai, who funnily enough looks like Sasuke, Sai thinks Sakura is woefully a large foreheaded ugly woman, making Sakura even more angry. If you look at the manga, anime, and movie material, it can be plausible Sakura is a W-wing woman. I mean, Team 7 did sit with Team 10 where Ino met Sai, who thinks he's cute, probably because he's a Sasuke tether. And in the Naruto the last movie, Sakura does try to help Hinata in confessing her love towards Naruto, showing Sakura has played an integral part in her teammates forming intimate, meaningful relationships beyond the shinobi work, giving her not just the domineering title, but an emotionally intelligent person as well. Also, as we went over before in previous videos, link in the description if you haven't seen them, looking at each Lee squad, they all do have a theme to it. The famous Ino Shikacho formation, Team Guy being made up of underdogs, and Team 7 a carbon copy of the legendary Sannin. Naruto, training under Jiraiya, summoning Toad and learning the Rasengan from him. Sasuke, learning under Orochimaru in order to master his Sharingan and defeat Itachi. Then Sakura, training under Tsunade, perfecting her medical ninjutsu skills and brawler-like technique. A small parallel that is interesting with Sakura and Tsunade is they both had troubles with men. Sakura being in love with the loner traumatized ore farmer, and Tsunade's lover dying in battle. Kishimoto may not have intentionally intended for that to be the case, but that is something nice to add. Even though Sakura does not have an extensive jutsu kit, when her abilities are expounded upon, she is actually a very formidable shinobi. And once you understand this, you'll realize Sakura was never one of the weaker shinobi in Konoha, but one of the strongest in Konoha's arsenal. We must go back to her training under Tsunade. Tsunade is a part of the legendary Sannin, who is hands down the greatest medical ninjutsu specialist, not to mention the 5th Hokage. So just off of the fact Sakura was trained by this beast of a woman, the sky was the limit for Sakura. But heading into her feats, Sakura does embody a brawler-like style just like Tsunade, reinforcing her physical strength with chakra to increase her attacks, which has been shown to have large destructive force behind it. With Sakura's signature move with this ability is punching her fist in the ground, creating a large crater on the battlefield. And the most prominent time we saw this ability in action is when Sakura is alongside Chiyo, whooped Sasori of the Akatsuki, with Sasori himself destroying the 3rd Kazekage, who was regarded as the strongest in the Hidden Sand. Even though Chiyo played a major role with her doll usage against Sasori, this was an intense battle and one of the first major Akatsuki fights we see in Shippuden. Sakura used her destructive force to fight back against Sasori's dolls, obliterating the 3rd Kazekage doll, and ultimately helped bring down Sasori. With Sakura using her pure brutality for this fight shows just how strong she is. But looking at Sakura's specialty, she is a medical ninjutsu specialist. She does not have any huge wide-scale healing feat. However, throughout Shippuden, she can be shown healing Naruto after he has sustained multiple injuries, like when Orochimaru enraged Naruto, informing him about the realities behind Sasuke, provoking Naruto to turn into his Kyuubi form. Sakura was the one to heal Naruto after. She can also summon Katsuyu, who can divide into multiple fragments of herself to heal multiple people, revealing how Sakura does have wide-scale healing abilities at her disposal. But her greatest medical ninjutsu feat was healing Kankuro from Sasuke's poison. The poison is so sophisticated, ordinary medical treatment couldn't save Kankuro. Sakura analyzes the poison and develops an antidote. What's so cool about Sakura is she isn't just a pure defenseless healer that needs to be saved, she is also a brawler that can handle herself in physical battles. And this is what makes the strength of 100 seal an OP jutsu that Sakura uses, created by Tsunade. This is a technique where chakra is stored in one place over time, emblezoning of diamond on your forehead. When released, this seal emblems black marks across the body, while healing the user's wounds continuously throughout battle. Because Sakura was Tsunade's apprentice, Tsunade taught her this technique, and when Sakura released it during the 4th Great Shinobi War, she was able to do wide-scale damage, helping the allied shinobi forces and scaring Naruto. There's one more piece of her kit Kishimoto barely touched on. Sakura does have proficiency in genjutsu, mainly from Sakura's exceptional chakra control, combined with her perception for genjutsu attacks, like during the Konoha Crush arc, where everyone was put into a full genjutsu. Sakura was the one to break out of hers fairly quickly, which Kakashi noted her proficiency in genjutsu. But in a different world, Sakura could have locked in with Kurenai and learned some genjutsu abilities on the side.
Oh, hello, Ino. What a surprise.
How funny. I was gonna say the same thing to you.
No way!
Is she?
One aspect of Sakura that flies under the radar is her relationship with Ino. In Team 7, we understand Naruto and Sasuke are rivals. However, for Sakura, it is Ino, her childhood best friend. As a child, Sakura used to get bullied for having a large forehead. So much so, Sakura would try to put bangs over her forehead to block it entirely. This is where Ino befriended Sakura and helped Sakura become more confident in herself and her appearance. Which in a shinobi world where clans get destroyed and a legendary tail beast gets sealed into newborns, Sakura's backstory mainly highlighting her friendship with Ino seems arbitrary and minuscule. But Ino putting confidence into Sakura's appearance does make a slight nod of women traditionally being hounded for their appearance and learning to love themselves even if they deviate from that beauty standard. But what makes the relationship between them so powerful is that it did have its ups and downs, and it all stemmed from Sasuke. Going back to early part 1, Sakura and Ino were characterized as straight Sasuke glazers, forming an intense rivalry between them as they fight for Sasuke's love, much to Naruto's dislike. Throughout the early parts of part 1, especially during the Chunin exams, there was a level of contentiousness we see between these two that at the time it would be hard to imagine they were once best friends. However, in their battle during the last phase of the Chunin exams, the feelings and deep-seated resentment they had towards each other came to a climax, and a huge motif for this is hair. Very early on, Sakura found out Sasuke desired girls with longer hair. Sakura, trying to become more appealing to Sasuke, chose to grow her hair out, and Ino knew this. However, during the second phase of the Chunin exams, Sakura is attacked by Team Dosu. Trying to protect an unconscious Naruto and Sasuke, she is being severely outmatched. Kintsuchi grabs Sakura by her hair. Here, Sakura realizes that her long hair is the sole thing holding her back in this fight and stopping her from protecting Naruto and Sasuke. So she cuts it off with a kunai knife. Heading into the final phase of the Chunin exams, Ino witnesses Sakura's short hair, and in the fight between these two, Ino chooses to cut her own hair off as well in order to covertly get her mind-body switch technique within range of Sakura. Although the fight ended in a draw, Sakura and Ino's fight ends up subverting the ideals of traditional femininity they'd both been chasing. A huge aspect of both Sakura and Ino is they are male-centered and worried too much about their beauty, so much that they fell out over their innocent crushes over Sasuke. But during the Chunin exams, we witnessed both Ino and especially Sakura put their romance to the side in order to become better shinobi. And once these two priorities came in check, Sakura and Ino became best friends again. Not forgetting Sakura and Team 7 being the ones to introduce Ino to Sai in Shippuden. Sakura and Ino's story arc shows how two friends, by realigning their purposes, can get past a mutual crush between these two. Because past being a Sasuke glazer, Sakura actually formed a complex romantic arc with him, whose character development goes under immense transformation, especially from part 1 to Shippuden, not mentioning Sakura's fighting abilities. So with all this being said, the Sakura slander just doesn't make sense, my guy. At the end of the day, Sakura is a character whose romantic arc with Sasuke the Orange Farmer isn't mediocre writing by Kishimoto, but a well thought out complex romantic storyline that progresses both Sakura and Sasuke as people. Sakura's character development going from a Sasuke-obsessed fangirl to a shinobi who's one of Tsunade's greatest successors has to be one of the most satisfying character arcs in Naruto. Sakura's combat abilities may not be flashy like the Sharingan Eyes or a Rasen Shuriken, but through her strength of 100 seal, Sakura can duke it out with anyone. And her relationship with Ino wasn't a petty love rivalry, it was Sakura and Ino cutting their hair that turned their fight into a thematic device, pushing both of them forward, while touching the themes of traditional femininity and what it means to be a shinobi. What makes Sakura the most overhated character in Naruto isn't that she's a little annoying on screen or chose Sasuke over Naruto, it's that we ignore everything else just to keep hating on her, and that's simply unfair. But that's what I think. If you think differently, the same, or just want to add more, comment down below. Right after, leave a like and subscribe. Once again, my name is AOI-KUN, and this was my synopsis.